this video, we will be analyzing the Dema lore present in every 21 Pilots song. Technically, Dema did not exist until the Trench era, but Tyler has always been writing about similar themes that have been the building blocks for the Dema universe. The biggest building block, in my personal opinion, is probably the character we were first introduced to as Blurryface, whose true name we later learned was Nico. I thought it would be a fun concept to analyze every song and find more lyrics that influence the Dema universe. Let's start at the beginning with track 1 of self-titled, Implicit Demand for Proof. While this song could have been written about God and have nothing to do with the lore, I wanted to point out this lyric, "Go ahead and show me your face." If Tyler was singing to God in this song, then he's asking God to show him his face. This reminds me of Blurryface. In the Blurryface era, Tyler did not know what Blurryface looked like, just that he had a blurry face. It wasn't until the Trench era that Tyler saw Blurryface's face clearly and learned his real name, Nico. Track 2, Fall Away. This song gives me major Dema necromancy vibes. In this song, Tyler repeats many times that he does not want to fall away. This could have a dual meaning, either that he does not want to stop having faith in God, or that he does not want to give up on life. In the lore, this could be Tyler not wanting to submit to the ideals of vialism and end his life, achieving the state of glorious gone. And I can feel the pull begin. I feel my conscience wearing thin, and my skin, it will start to break up and fall apart. This part makes me think of Tyler imagining what would happen if he gave in to the bishops and ended his life. He feels that part of him that wants to give up, and he thinks about what it would be like. But if he died here, the bishops would seize him and his skin would start to break up and fall apart, like the hosts of the 21 Pilots livestream experience. Of course, this may not have influenced the necromancy in Dema, but I think it's a cool similarity either way. I also want to point out this lyric. It's taking a toll on my soul, I'm screaming submission, and I don't know if I am dying or living. This makes me think of the act of seizing a vessel. I explained in a previous video how the Greek words under the diagram of the antler ritual translated to soul movement. Track 3, the pantelon. I want to specifically point out this lyric. And all your friends fertilize the ground you walk. I feel like this definitely could have influenced the neon gravestones that surround the city of Dema. Track 4, Addict with a Pen. I'm just being dramatic, in fact, I'm only at it again as an addict with a pen who's addicted to the wind. In this song, Tyler talks about his struggles with mental health, and he even says that by writing this song, he's being dramatic. And if he thought just writing one song was being dramatic, I'd say that creating an entire lore-based universe is way more dramatic than that. Track 5, Friend Please. This song gives me major Banditos vibes. The Banditos help the citizens of Dema escape, because sometimes we need to rely on a friend to save us from our inner demons. Track 6, March to the Sea. This song definitely influenced the Dema universe. In this song, Tyler sings about a line of people marching toward the sea, and he questions why he is walking in the line. This reminds me of the citizens of Dema following the bishops and believing in vialism. In the lyrics, Tyler says the people in line are dying. This sounds like how vialism teaches the citizens of Dema to kill themselves. Tyler says that as they near the end of land and their ocean graves are just beyond the sand, he asks himself why he falls in line. Vialism teaches that the whole point of life is to end it through suicide. And then the bishops create a neon gravestone and place it around the city. In the song, when Tyler is nearing the end and sees the gravestones, he asks himself why he is in this line. Then he sees a spaceship in the sky and hears a voice say, "Follow me instead." I think this voice could be Clancy. Then the wages of war will start, which I think is what happened at the end of the Outside music video when Tyler sees the bishop smashed the neon light and set Dema ablaze. This lyric says that the war will start inside my head with my counterpart. This makes sense because Dema is a physical representation of Tyler's inner demons, his worst anxieties and fears, so the war is really inside his head. I think the counterpart Tyler references could either be Clancy or Nico. Not sure if it means he will fight with Clancy at his side or if it means he will fight against Nico. Then, the emotionless marchers will chant the phrase, "This line's the only way." The marchers are the brainwashed citizens of Dema. And Tyler continues to follow them, but then he hears Clancy's voice again, "Follow me instead." In the last verse of the song, Tyler leaves the line and goes with Clancy, but it ends with these lyrics. "And once again, I will be in a march to the sea." Once again, he will be stuck in Dema. This reminds me of two things. One is the jumpsuit music video where Tyler escapes Dema and is in Trench, but Nico takes him back to Dema. And two is Clancy's letters. In his letters, Clancy shares that he escapes Dema, but in later letters we find out that he was back in Dema again. Track 7, Johnny Boy. This lyric, "No one really knows his mind and no one knows behind his eyes," reminds me of the lyric from Migraine, "Behind my eyelids are islands of violence." In the lore, we know that the island of violence is called Voldsoy, and it is where the Outside music video takes place. Track 8, Oh Misbeliever. I didn't really notice any lore in the song besides the fact that it mentions the words snow and winter, which reminded me of the word icy in the name of the Skeleton Icy album. Track 9, Aircatcher. I don't think this song had any influence on the lore, but there is this lyric, "I will try to avoid those eyes," that reminds me of the significance of red and yellow eyes in the lore. Track 10, Trapdoor. The song opens with this lyric, "He wakes up early today, throws on a mask that will alter his face. Nobody knows his real name, but now he just uses one he saw on a grave." This makes me think of how, in the Blurryface era, Tyler would alter his face by making his eyes red. Nobody knew his real name, they just called him Blurryface. But now he just uses one he saw on a grave. Nico, short for Nicholas Bourbaki. Regarding more recent lore, the mask that Clancy puts on at the end of the I Am Clancy video reminded me of this lyric from Trapdoor. "He wakes up early today, throws on a mask that will alter his face." Trapdoor is a song about a man who is petrified, a man who wants to finish his waste of a life. This song addresses mental illness, and we know that Dema is a physical representation of what it's like to live with mental illness. It is a cycle. Some days you will feel like you have escaped Dema, just to be brought back in the blink of an eye. Healing is not linear. It feels like a never-ending cycle until we are able to break the cycle, if we are ever lucky enough to do so. We will always live with mental illness, but we do not have to live in Dema. We can learn how to live outside of Dema, in Trench, with the Banditos, and one day never return to Dema. There are more lyrics of Trapdoor that I wanted to talk about. "Everyone gather around for a show. Watch as this man disappears as we know." This is talking about this man's suicide as a show. It is glorifying it. It sounds like something that would happen in Dema. The lyrics then say, "Do me a favor and try to ignore as you watch him fall through a bleeding trapdoor." This sounds like the bishops telling the citizens to try to ignore the man as he falls through a bleeding trapdoor. A trapdoor is called a trapdoor because it is not a door we see and choose whether or not to walk through. It is a hidden door meant to trap us. A door the bishops say will lead to paradise. A door that the citizens of Dema don't see, and by the time they've fallen in, it's too late. There is also a question of whether the lyrics of the song are bleeding trapdoor or blatant trapdoor. This theory works either way. Blatant means obvious. If the lyric is blatant trapdoor, it means that the man is falling through this trapdoor even though he can see the trapdoor. If we think of him as a citizen of Dema, the bishops are using vialism to brainwash him into willingly falling through the trapdoor. According to vialism, that door is the only way to paradise. And even though to us, it's obviously a trap, he doesn't realize this and willingly falls through. In Clancy's third letter, he writes, "When the bishops instituted vialism as mandate, they effectively reversed the hope that many arrived with. Am I the only one that realizes we've been lied to?" A bit later in the same letter, he writes, "Now this city is full of dry eyes, caught in a trance of obedience, devoid of any trace of an identity. If you are wondering why the citizens are falling into the trapdoor to paradise, Clancy explains it in that third letter. The citizens have been drained of hope. They don't question the bishops. They mindlessly obey the bishops, even if that means falling through a blatant trapdoor." Track 11, A Car, a Torch, a Death. These three things play important roles in the Dema universe. The car from the Heavy Dirty Soul music video, the torch that Josh carries throughout the storyline and the torches the Banditos carry, and the deaths of the citizens of Dema. Track 12, Taxi Cab. This was the only song from Self-Titled that was performed at the Bandito tour. In this song, Tyler is being driven in a car by three men. This could have influenced the Heavy Dirty Soul music video, in which Tyler was sitting in the backseat of a car as a hooded figure drove the car. Track 13, Before You Start Your Day. There aren't many lyrics in this song, and I didn't notice anything lore related. Track 14, Isle of Flightless Birds. This song refers to humans as flightless birds. Birds, specifically vultures, have a big presence in the lore. Regional at best. I'm only going to talk about the songs that were not on Vessel. Track 4, Slow Town. This lyric specifically stood out to me. I put my socks on my feet just so that my soul won't fall through my toes. I don't know if it's just me, but this makes me think of how the bishops can use Ned's antlers to seize people, and how that one diagram of how to see someone had Greek words that translated to soul movement. This one might be a stretch, so let's move on to the next song. Track 6, Forest. This lyric, hands held higher, we'll be on fire, should be hands held higher, Dema be on fire, am I right? I couldn't find any lore in this song. Track 7, Glowing Eyes. This one is pretty easy. The glowing yellow eyes when someone or something is seized, also Tyler's red blurry face eyes. Track 8, Kitchen Sink. I couldn't find any lore in this song, but the line, "You don't know what I mean because a kitchen sink to you is not a kitchen sink to me," reminds me of the way most people have no idea about the lore. It's like the kitchen sink of the clique. Track 9, Anathema. In this song, Tyler is singing to someone, begging this person to go to someone else's dreams, someone else's head, and torture someone else's sleep. This person could have been an early interpretation of Blurryface. There is also possibly an early interpretation of the lore in the rap of this song. This rap originated from the song Blasphemy from No Fun Intended, so it was even older than the Regional Best album. In the rap, Tyler says, "I start to part two halves of my heart in the dark," and then later says, "One half of my heart is free, and the other half of my heart's asleep." I wonder if this could have been an early interpretation of Clancy. Tyler parts his heart into two halves. One is himself and one is Clancy. Clancy is the free half and Tyler is asleep. This might not be related to the lore at all, and may be religious or a metaphor for something else. Track 10, Lovely. This song, like Friend Please, is another song the citizens of Dema need to hear. One part specifically stuck out to me. Tyler repeats the phrase, "Don't be gone," a bunch of times. This reminded me of Glorious Gone, the phrase from the diagram uploaded to the Dema.org website that explained how to seize someone. The phrase "Glorious Gone" is also in the song Leave the City. We will also see the lyrics "Don't Let Me Be Gone" in the song Goner, which could have been inspired from the lyrics "Don't Be Gone" from this song. Track 11, Ruby. It would be cool if someone like Ruby helped Tyler and Josh finally defeat the bishops, especially because of this lyric. "You're true and pure, you hold the cure. We're all deceased, you hold the key." It may not end up having any impact on the lore, but I thought it could be a connection. The color red also plays a big role in the Dema universe. It is the color of Tyler's eyes when he is under Blurryface's control, and it is also the color of the bishop's robes. Track 13, Be Concerned. This lyric stood out to me right away. "I will deny you for years, then I'll make you raise me from the dead." It reminded me of how the bishops practiced necromancy on the citizens of Dema. We also see more references to eyes in this lyric. I don't mean to pry, but why would you even make the eyes? Track 14, Clear. The song opens with the lyric, "I wish that I had two faces." This makes me think of Tyler having a different face when Blurryface controls him and his eyes turn red, or maybe even the difference between Tyler and Clancy.